And it made me reevaluate, is this what I want?
Yeah.
I love medicine. I love taking care of people. I love helping people who are unwell.
Yeah.
But is this what I want at such a young age?
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah.
is this it?
In our the traditional African homes,
Yeah.
right? When you are artistic like that, when you start dancing, you start singing, you'll be told, you're playing. You need to get a profession.
He calls me one night. I'm at work. He's like, hey, Muzi, tomorrow morning there are auditions at 8 o'clock for The Lion King.
Yeah.
I need you to go there. I'm at work. It's 2 a.m.
Yeah. And it's like few hours.
Few hours, and I've been on my feet the whole night. I'm not exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm not prepared physically, mentally. He's like, so I tell him this. I'm like, well, I'll miss this, buddy. I'll miss this one. Maybe the next one. He's like, listen here. I'm not requesting. I'm telling you. A degree in psychology. I did a BA degree in psychology. But with that, as a psychology major, I took a module called FVPA. You know how that went. I excelled more than I excelled in psychology. Sometimes we just count down a patient's life because there's nothing no one can do. So it's just keeping the patient comfortable and so that happened every day.
Ladies, gentlemen, and queers, a very warm welcome to another episode of The Real Queer Talk with myself, Tolo, the inimitable one, Mutawung. And today, once again, we have another special guest for you. And I am once again super excited to be hosting this guest today. It is a guest that has traveled the world, is now on world stages as an actor, as a singer, and of course, proudly South African. Ashley,
hey,
welcome.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
So you Ashley Muzi Khumalo.
Muzi Ashley Khumalo.
Okay.
I always want to start with my African
with your
name.
African name, right?
Muzi Ashley. Muzi K Ashley Khumalo.
Oh, that's the full name.
That's my full name.
Yeah.
It's too long though. So we happy with
go
Muzi.
for Muzi.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm so happy that you could make it.
I'm happy.
I know when you're at home you have such like a little time to do everything. And 5 million things.
Usually, I'm always running around trying to split myself between commitments and people.
Yeah.
So
and I can imagine everybody wants your attention as well.
Because I'm a people's person. So everyone wants to see me at least 2 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm happy to be here.
No, it's a pleasure. Yeah. It's a pleasure. And I think I want you to just give an overview of who Muzi is.
Where do I even start? Well, it's crazy because Muzi is this explosion. But very simply put, Muzi Khumalo is a young, proudly Black, proudly South African, proudly queer, proudly out there, proud Christian, proud believer, a flawed young man, a perfectionist young man. But I'm just born and raised in Soweto. I'm one of 4. I've got an older brother, older sister, and a twin brother.
Oh, okay.
So I'm one of 2. I'm one of 4, then one of 2. And that's already it's a complex on its own.
Yeah.
But that's really who I am. I started off in the medicine fraternity. We'll maybe get into that. And then I jumped ship into my first love and passion, the arts.
Yeah. Before we get to that, one of the things that I very much are stating about you is how fabulous you are. You have this impeccable sense of style.
Thank you.
Like fashion is your thing.
Thank you so much. I love looking
What inspires that?
I don't know. I think if I have to think back when I was young, my mom loved looking good. Okay. My mom is such a graceful lady.
Yeah.
She's older now, maybe doesn't wear the heels as high as she used to back then. But if I just remember back and look at the pictures, my mom was just this style icon, very very subtle about it. So she wasn't a fabulous queen who would scream her fabulosity, but she had an elegant and very graceful sense of style. I think that's where it started from. And then I have a sister who's a style guru, loves looking good. And I mean, I associate my friends with around my I associate myself around friends who are crazy style icons and people who love looking good. So I think all of that combined, and me being an artist, having an art side of me, all of that combined just made me love looking good and flipping the aesthetic, and not conforming to any single way of looking. So let's just switch it up one day or switch it down the other day. So thank you though.
And you always look comfortable in whatever you're wearing, right? A few times I've seen you, and also obviously on your social media platforms, you go from being as casual as you can be to being as formal as you can be, but very much so comfortable in whatever you are in. Has it always been like that, or you had to work yourself into being in that space?
Look, I think that's that question. For me personally, goes far beyond what I'm wearing. It's about being in my own skin and what I believe I like and what makes me happy. So I think it's something that starts with knowing who you are. Setting a few values and codes for yourself that you're going to live by, and you're going to conform to, because sometimes we cheat ourselves. So don't cheat yourself. Tell yourself, good, this is me, this is how I want to look, this is how I want to present myself to the world, and stick to it. Everybody else will need to adjust and conform. If they can't, may they please go left.
I love that. Everybody else will have to adjust.
They'll have to. If they don't, please go left. So it starts from within. It starts from the skin, the inner you, and then it exudes outside. So whatever I'm wearing, no matter how tight it is, if I'm wearing a corset and I can't breathe, but may I be happy in it.
Right.
And I think that's what people see, that he looks good. Even if I'm wearing shoes that are tight, I love them. I want to wear tight shoes for the next few hours. May I be happy in them, and that's what the world will see. So I think that's where I draw everything from. It starts from me. Being comfortable in my own skin, knowing who I am, and standing by it.
And what do you think makes us cheat ourselves? Because we get into those spaces when we
cheat ourselves. Usually, I would usually, cheating oneself is from external influence, because inside each and everyone is somebody who knows who they are. I mean, nobody in the whole world could ever know Tolo more than Tolo knows Tolo, and vice versa, Muzi and everybody else. So I think we get into a point where we cheat ourselves because we want to compromise, because we want to please, to make others comfortable, be it our families, be it our religion, be it Numakhelwane, the neighbor. What will the neighbors say if I walk out looking like this? So may I displease me so that they will be happy. So I think one cheating themselves is not always about themselves. It's external forces. And I think as we go along, as we grow, and as we realize the world, the ever dynamic world, and realize who we are and stand by that, it's important to not be influenced by the external. There will always be external forces. It's scientific, and it's just there. So it's up to you if you want to accept it and allow it into your realm and your space, and let it change your codes, your beliefs, your values, your fashion, who you love, or not.
Right.
And I choose the latter. Not.
Amazing. Amazing. And let's talk about your exceptional talent that has put you on international stages. And I want us to take it back, right, to moments when you got to be aware of this talent. How did that come about?
It's so crazy. From a very young age, I've always been a singer. I've always been just burst of energy. So I did say earlier on that I'm one of two. I'm a twin. My twin brother, his name is Gina. So Muzi no Gina, twin boys, baka Khumalo, are raised the same. Bought the same toys, bought the same clothes. Gina, we get toy cars My twin brother will play for it 1 day, 2 days, third day, no
Burn.
wheel, fourth day, it's lost or it's broken. Mine would
As
probably
kids will
stay.
do.
Yeah. But mine would probably still be in its cover, in its box, and I wouldn't.
Not touched.
So from there, as a young boy, as a young child growing up, I could tell my difference. When Dina's doing all of that and other young little boys, our friends, do all of that, I would prefer being indoors, watching music or listening to my mom sing, or I'd choose not to, to go out there and be crazy like that. But I realized, even if I couldn't put a finger to it, that I'm different in such and such a way, but I realized that I don't like the things that some of them like. So from a young age, I used to sing a lot. I've always been a singer, and there'd be music on TV. The Brenda Fassies, the Lebo Matosas, and I would
you'll be singing along.
Yeah, I would go crazy. I'd literally dance, take
And
the
perform.
remote, perform.
Oh my word!
I'd literally be performing. I'd take the remote and sing, and I'd be on stage with them on TV. I remember there was a competition long ago called the Coca-Cola Pop Stars. There was Adela. I was in my early teens during those years. But such little things were big for me, and I would just sing. In church growing up, I used to sing. In school, I did singing, I did drama, sports here and there, not too much. Not so much. Especially contact sports, no thank you. So it is music and drama. So I think from growing up in church in high school, all of those cultivate primary and high school actually all of those cultivated and nourished the passion and gift and talent that
that we see today. And many a times, particularly in our the traditional African homes, right? When you are artistic like that, when you start dancing, you start singing, you'll be told, you're playing. You need to get a profession where you can make a living. How was that for you?
Well, I come from my family luckily is not so conservative.
Okay,
it's not so traditionally inclined. But my mom has always wanted me to have a career. So post high school, please go to varsity, do something. My dad also, in fact, my mom wanted to be a doctor when she was growing up. So in a lot of her children, my older brother's a doctor. So I think my mom just instilled that to all of us, that be a doctor. So it's something that's been there, but it wasn't forced to me.
Okay.
As I'm saying, my family is not very conservative and traditional. So it is something presented to me, but I had the choice as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so with that as influence, after high school, I went to varsity, went to Wits University, and did a degree in psychology. I did a BA degree in psychology. But with that, as a psychology major, I took a module called FVPA, which was introduced to me, and I found it's to be relevant to my life and what I'd like to venture in. FVPA is film, visual, and performing art.
Oh, okay.
And you know how that went. I excelled more than I excelled in psychology. I did so well in FVPA more than I did in psychology. So
because you aligned more to it.
Did my psychology, got that out of the way, worked, further went to do my second qualification. I did a degree in nursing, further qualified in that, did ICU specialty and emergency and trauma specialty. Worked, but every other time, with every dancer, with every chance I get, I have a lot of dancer, actor, singer friends. So I'd involve myself in what they do and their activities. And sometimes some of my friends who are known, I've worked with a lot of people that we see on TV that have established themselves. I used to back some of the people up. And I used to be one of the backing vocalists. And, so with every chance I got outside my psychology and my nursing and my being in a hospital in scrubs and gloves, I would want to go out there
and perform. Amazing.
and perform. So
and I mean, you could have easily decided to stay in the profession. I mean, it's secure. It has a clear path
Yeah.
of where you want to go. It's comfortable, right? And now the arts are very not so clear,
Yeah.
and it can be, a bumpy ride when you
Yeah.
get into it, because one moment things are happening, the next it's not, and there's somebody who's more talented than you are and all of that.
Yeah.
At what point, or at which point did you then say, you know what, and now I'm following my passion?
I love your question so much because, and I love telling this story,
Yeah.
about the flip,
Okay.
the crossover,
Yeah.
the jump ship moment. The professional, the curative path that I had taken in medicine, I stayed in it, and it kept me. It held me, it held me down.
Yeah.
Because as you're saying, there's job security, there's benefits, and then with the arts, especially in our country, without being disrespectful or anything, sometimes opportunities are not so much, and if there are opportunities, there's only a handful of people that qualify or may get it. So the criteria is just twisted. So with the jump ship, the flip happened during COVID.
Okay.
So I had worked in ICU. I'd worked in trauma and emergency. Then I thought, no, let's go to my other specialty, which is intensive care unit.
Okay.
So worked. 2020, COVID happened. And healthcare professionals were in the front line. We were the front liners. We were the ones who were just there at all times. And it was a big scare for all of us. We didn't know what the hell this is, but we as healthcare professionals, we needed to show up. So I was one of them. Showed up. I made an oath one day, and I had to show up, especially during this time. So we worked day in, day out. I remember I was doing nights during that time, night shift.
Okay.
We'd receive a patient, and and as we advanced into the pandemic, as the months went by, it just went worse and worse, and the clinical picture of patients would be worse, would just worsen. Where in the beginning, it was just what we were told, loss of smell, loss of a little cough, a little fever. But as the months went by, the virus mutated and became a monster to us. So I had to deal with that. I'd go to work at 7 p.m. to knock off at 7 a.m. the next morning in ICU, and I would deal with the situation where sometimes we just count down a patient's life because there's nothing no one can do. So it's just keeping the patient comfortable and so that happened every day for about 2 years.
Sure.
When I dealt with that. 1 year, just 1 year plus. It happened every day, where you just go to work to see a patient die, and you'd inform the family, prepare them out of the bed, prepare the same space for another admission who will go through the same cycle, and you're just there to nurse and just let that process go as it will go. So that poisoned me. It left me very mentally exhausted, very mentally a little disturbed. Well, I am mentally disturbed anyway, Ngahlanya. But that interrupted me as a person mentally, and it made me reevaluate: is this what I want? I love medicine. I love taking care of people. I love helping people who are unwell. But is this what I want at such a young age? Is this it?
Aish.
So that I think that question just came to me good. Is this it? Are we doing this until we are 60 and we retire and have a big retirement party? But no, I don't want that, because it made me sad. It made me miserable. I started not liking what I do anymore. So it becomes a whole different thing if you go to a job you don't like, but you have to do it every day. So I had to make the choice. And then, long story short, fast forward, I was on duty in ICU. A friend of mine, who's an amazing artist as well. He was also cast in The Lion King. He's in France. Atandwa Gentile, incredible human being, incredible artist and producer. Anyway, he calls me one night. I'm at work. He's like, hey Muzi, tomorrow morning there are auditions at 8 o'clock for The Lion King.
Yeah.
I need you to go there. I'm at work. It's 2 a.m.
Yeah. And it's like few hours.
Few hours, and I've been on my feet the whole night. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm not prepared physically, mentally. He's like, so I tell him this. I'm like, well, I'll miss this, buddy. I'll miss this one. Maybe the next one. He's like, listen here. I'm not requesting. I'm telling you,
you have to
when
be
you
there.
leave there, go there. He managed to convince me.
Yeah.
Immediately when I knocked off at 7 a.m, didn't even go home. I got in the car, crossed the highway, went to the market theater, straight to the audition venue. I get there, because I don't know how it works.
Okay.
I don't know how the audition process works. But I get there. I was probably hoping it would be just an in and out. There are hundreds and hundreds of other people queued already in line, waiting for their 10-second chance. So I'm like, do I want to do this? Do I want to stay? Do I want to stick this through? But yeah, I mean, faith said stay. Hope said stay. The universe said stay. The believer in me said stay. And I stayed. And as the line keeps moving, I keep dozing off.
I can
and
imagine.
Then the nudge me say, move. Hamba le line. So I'd pop out of sleep. So this is now no rehearsal, no warm up, no preparation of any kind. My turn comes. Got into the audition room. Sang as best as I can.
Yeah.
And, in that first introduction round, it's either make it or break it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people would go in knowing that they've not made it. So I was actually looking forward to that. I had prepared myself that I will not make it. I'll be one of those that they'll tell, no, sorry, you didn't make it.
But why though? Why?
Because I was so tired I didn't prepare. It wasn't something that was in my head.
Yeah.
I was not warmed up. And, I was just...
Yeah, let me do it.
Let me do it, Nje.
Yeah.
But I wasn't ready for it. And...
The Dreamstream studio in Randburg is a full-service studio on Bromfisher Drive. It's perfectly suited for podcast, music recordings, and general video recordings. Backed up by an experienced editing and production team means you can walk in, record, and walk out knowing that everything will get done as you require. Our mobile gear ensures we can cover your video and live streaming needs on location too. We got the cameras, the lights, and the action to make you and your brand shine. Contact us now, studio@dreamstream.co.za, and we'll make it happen. Dreamstream, a place to create yourself.
Hey, I got in there and I sang. I sang a lot.
Oh,
and they said, wait there for us. We'll call you again. They called. It was just a chop, minimizing the shortlisting, minimizing the group, until they called 10 of us, and there was really literally a few people left outside from all those thousands that were there earlier on. 10 of us, and we sang, and they'd be like, number 2, 3, 7, thank you, this is it. And we stayed until there was 2 of us. And I'm still in my scrubs, my uniform, my pens, I'm still, and my eyes bloodshot, red. I'm tired.
I can imagine.
Because I had to wait through the whole process.
But you're still giving it your best shot every time.
And then after that round, they said, okay, wait for us to contact you. But thank you, you guys are amazing. A few months later, I think this was November. In Feb, I got an email from Disney. Saying, hi Muzi, this is so-and-so from Disney. We would like to offer you a position in the Lion King Spain as actor, singer, dancer.
And what goes through your mind when you see this?
Are you crazy? So the email comes in. I'm getting ready to go to ICU to work.
Yeah.
You know, to the job I don't quite like anymore.
I
So
mean,
you know, I think I've just gotten dressed. I was making my little lunch. I'm preparing myself to go to Msebenzi. I'm like, let me check my phone before I have to drive off to work. That changed my day.
I can imagine.
That changed my shift. I was probably singing happy songs. I don't even remember what I was doing, but I was happy. I was so happy. My reaction, I phoned my mom. I phoned Atandwa, my friend who had told me about this 3 months ago. And I said, no, I probably won't make it. And he forced me. I phoned him excited, screaming and thanking him. My family was so happy for me. You know, I didn't tell a lot of people, you know. I want to keep some of these things on the hush until there's a stamp and it's you know,
right?
So I was excited and I answered the email with a very big yes. I'm doing it.
Oh my goodness,
I'm taking it. It's a
my
yes.
goodness.
And the rest is history.
And tell us about the waiting during that 3 months. What's going through your mind? Did you even think of it?
As I said, you know, I was even in the audition. During the audition, I was so surprised I made it all the way to the final round. I was so surprised. So during that waiting, that 3 plus or minus 3 month waiting period, I'm prayerful. I'm hopeful. But I'm not putting too much thought into it.
Okay.
In the event that,
so it's more like you left room for a possibility
that it may not come through for me, you know. So I left room so that I'm also healthy. It doesn't cripple me when one day I receive a call or email that says regrets you know. So at least I had prepared myself with well, we'll try again next time, you know. So the waiting period was miserable, but I was okay waiting. And when I got that email saying that I've been taken, the waiting period meant nothing. And I was just so happy. There is another waiting period, however, that almost paralyzed me from when I got the offer to when I hopped on a plane to Spain.
It took longer.
Auditioned 2019 November. Position offered with contract and all February 2020. Sent everything, signed contracts. Yes. Okay, siyabonga Muzi, you're coming to Spain. Me, I'm happy. The 10th of March 2020, world declares a pandemic.
Oh.
That waiting, you're at that wait.
Oh my goodness.
You're at that wait.
Because now you don't know how things are going to run. Like, you don't know the direction it will take.
That wait was the one. That time, Tolu, I had gone to work. My manager, Mamela, I'm resigning.
Oh no,
guys, I've resigned. You know, I'm just serving my notice. I'm ready. I'm ready. Sold my car. Informed my landlord that I will be moving out.
Guys, this pandemic messed us up.
It did.
How do you then survive all of that?
It did. It messed us up many ways than one. And then pandemic starts. This is me, tail between my legs, going back to my manager, going back to my landlady.
Can we reconsider?
Mistake. You know, I made a huge mistake. But they were so understanding because we were all in this together and nobody had anticipated or prepared for an event as such. So they understood. But because no one knew how long it is gonna go for, the whole pandemic and all that, my landlady and my boss, because I needed a job and I needed a place to still stay before I go. And I don't know now anymore. The contract offer gave me a specific date, but due to COVID and we're seeing every other day numbers are growing, lockdown is being instilled and instituted, especially I was going to Spain.
Yeah.
And if we remember, Spain, Italy and France were the most
like the-
stricken. It was crazy.
It was very-
So those countries went into immediate lockdown, and we didn't know how far we gonna go with the virus. So they understood that as well. And they say, well, you'll have to stay as long as you can, as well as long as we need to keep you at the job or keep you in your home.
They
And
were
then
really gracious.
when that was incredible on their part. And then when stay as long as you need, work as long as you need, when doors open, when the gates to travel open, we'll in that week we'll just terminate all contracts.
Okay.
And
Sure.
so I waited 18 months because I only had to leave. I only left in August 2021.
Yeah.
Nakhana, imagine I got the offer Feb 2020
2020.
to leave in May 2020. 22 Feb to leave on the 8th of May.
Yeah.
But March, COVID happened.
Then
I only left in August 21.
that was a wait. That was a wait.
When I say there was a
Yeah.
wait.
Right.
But that too, it sharpened me. It experiences that we go through. I'm one person who wants to seek lesson in everything.
Yeah.
I've gone through a lot. I've done a lot of things. I've met a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've traveled a lot of places. I just want to seek lesson and some enrichment in every situation I go through, or every person or relation I encounter.
Yeah.
And that taught me a lot about patience, about stealth and resilience, about calm.
Sure.
Because you'll go crazy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
There are situations that will drive you crazy. There's people are in prison, or people are underground because they were not calm in
they
certain
couldn't.
situations. They couldn't calm down, and we don't blame anybody who can't. But such lessons for such situations for me became a lesson.
Yeah.
So crazy as I am, I'm a calm person. I'm a very chilled person, I think.
Yeah.
I know my friends and family will disagree
differently.
It's yeah.
Amazing. So the time comes, then you leave for Madrid. I can imagine you going to a different country. It's a different continent. The culture is different. You're there for work, but now you have to be there full time.
Yeah.
How is the adjustment now? How do you adjust to this new picture of your life?
Oh man, it was because I was so excited. At 2021, after COVID had just gone down and the lockdowns were released, we were now starting to get back to normal living.
Yeah.
But it was not normal, we all know. And that
There were
frustrated
a lot of
us.
adjustments.
Yeah, there were too many adjustments, and we got frustrated as a people. We started hating a lot, we unlearned new things and learned some new things. So it was a change of a people.
Yeah.
So for me, I couldn't handle some of the changes and the readjustment and what now we have to do. It was
a lot of limitations as
it was
well.
too much, lots of limitations as well. So moving across to Spain, I was excited. I was ecstatic. I was so happy. I remember when I was at the airport, the day I had to fly out, and I had family, I had friends. It was a whole thing. We terrorized the airport. Everybody is crying. I'm like, bye girls, bye bye,
Out of here.
ciao, bye bye. Mina ngizokhala sengiyi-one mhlambe in the plane or what, but now
Inshallah.
yeah. So I was so excited. Got to Spain. Never been to Spain. Madrid. They speak Spanish. Only a handful speaks English. So that was challenge number one. The excitement, I was like, are you sure you are excited? Are you sure you want to be here? It was crazy because nobody spoke English. I don't speak Spanish, obviously. So the language barrier was the number one the main thing. And Spanish people are very traditional and staunch in their Spanish. You will speak the Spanish. They will not speak your English. With all due respect, they're like Amazulu. I'm Zulu.
No, but
so
no.
Can I not be attacked? Can I not be attacked? I'm Zulu. So can I not be attacked? But the Spanish are like Amazulu. If you get a rank and ask, Dumelan tate, kuba butsa di taxi tse Alex diko kai. Hey, Asiguzu. They heard everything you're saying, but you will need to make a plan to speak Zulu. So the Spanish people are like that. So that was the biggest challenge. But there was still so much excitement. I was looking forward to it. I was looking forward to learning the new language. So get out of the airport. I'm escorted to my new place. It's beautiful. It's different. The architecture. It's different. I'm mind blown, and it's setting in. Woody, this is now my new life. So I need to make life here. So I think that just fueled an enthusiasm in learning the culture, learning the language, and just adapting and living. And here I am, almost year 5 years later.
It's been a while.
It's been 4 years. 4 years now, getting into the 5th year. It's been.
And starting work and get it going. How's that experience like for you? And what are some of the challenges that you found yourself having to really work on? Because now you're doing this full time. It's no longer the space that you trained for so many years and you worked in so many years. But now this is more also from your talent, from your passion.
I needed to learn a lot. I realized when I now am in the art world, there's a lot that you need to learn. It's not just what we see when we're sitting in a theater and watching the artist on stage,
because that's the end
go
product.
Home. At the backstage, it's a whole other show. So even in preparation for that, so I needed to learn. I needed to learn to eat healthier. Taking care of my body, exercising the right way, because sometimes we're exercising but we're doing things the wrong way, and especially if you're going to be somebody that does a physical job that needs, it's not an office job. You need specific and calculated exercises. You don't just do things because you may injure yourself, or you may impact your longevity, which you'll stay in this industry for 10, 20, 15 years or whatever. So I needed to learn a whole lot. But Tolo, I'm telling you, I'm not changing my answer. I was excited. So it was easy. It was an easy transition. It was a lot to take in. From a new country, from a new job, from new people. I needed to build a new family, and build a new tribe and alliance here. About Tolo now, my family, it's video calling. That is it. So I needed to build people that I am in close contact with here, and they will become in my army, or I'll join their army, whichever. But and the type of job that I do is crazy, because it's people from everywhere. There's South Africans, Mexicans, Cubans, Dominican Republic, Argentina, Nigeria, Philippines. We're from everywhere. We're this blended family. So you need to learn how to live in a blended family too. You need to learn. Because what is right for a Spanish somebody, it's blasphemy for a South African. So we need to learn those things to live within this family and not be an outcast and not offend anybody. So there's a lot of learning. There was a lot of learning, from language to fashion to culture to a lot. There was
And for you, what did it mean really as you established this career in the arts? I mean, it's Disney level. It's Lion King. These are world-renowned brands, and you become part of it firsthand. What did it
I was so happy. You're taking me back to a lot, and you just were chatting here, I'm just thinking. I was so humbled, and I was so, I realized that I'm so blessed.
Yeah.
I'm so blessed, and the faith-driven Christian.
The Dream Stream studio in Randburg is a full-service studio on Bram Fisher Drive. It's perfectly suited for podcast, music recordings, and general video recordings. Backed up by an experienced editing and production team means you can walk in, record, and walk out knowing that everything will get done as you require. Our mobile gear ensures we can cover your video and live streaming needs on location too. We got the cameras, the lights, and the action to make you and your brand shine. Contact us now, studio@dreamstream.co.za, and we'll make it happen. Dreamstream, a place to create yourself.
Boy in me, just came through in gratitude. I gave gratitude to my God. So I was lucky. I'm blessed. I don't even know how to answer that question because it was so overwhelming. For some time I couldn't believe it. When I told my family, they were like, win. Stop it.
Wait.
You're such a liar. You're such a liar. And a lot of people say,
you dream big.
I'm a dream. I'm not a liar. I'm a dreamer. They're like, win. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Stories,
But when everybody, even my mom, when she realized this is actually real, she was so happy. She was telling the neighbors, the church, and she was praying.
The pride.
The pride.
Yeah.
So it was luck and blessing upon my life, and I can never ever downplay and take that for granted. I was so happy. My older sister thought, are you sure this is real? Are you sure this thing is legit? Yes, it's human trafficking. And it's true. We need to be sure. I'm like, so that's how big it is. It scared us.
Yeah.
We even went into a little state of paranoia, human trafficking, and but so I really don't know. I was just happy. I took the opportunity, as big and as scary as it is. I just jumped in. I jumped in.
And I always say, as queer people, we are special cases, right? And being in an environment like that, how were there any challenges that you had to sort of deal with, or did you have to prepare yourself for things that you may not expect that they could happen?
As a person, as an artist, or as a queer man?
As a queer artist.
As a queer artist. So, Europe is very queer, my friend.
Is it?
Yeah. Madrid?
Yeah.
Very queer.
Okay, that's interesting.
So that was easier as a queer man. But it was not easier for somebody with this skin color. Do you get it now? Yeah, so there's a lot of things that me, Muzi, I'm queer, I'm black, I live in Europe. There's a lot of...
It's layers.
There's layers and margins that you are over. So but there's always something.
Yeah.
So if we accept your queerness, it's fine, but you are black. Or we accept your blackness, you are queer, but your makeup and your heels, and why are you looking like this? So there's always going to be something. There's always going to be challenges.
Yeah.
I think everywhere, not just Europe.
Yeah,
I think everywhere, even here at home. There's just always gonna be that aunt who will want to pray over your life.
Right? Why are you feminine?
It's why
even within the community.
Even within the community.
How
dare you have hair like that? And why are you wearing shoes like that? When you are when you fill in forms and say I am Mr. Muzi Khumalo.
And they start looking at it and looking at you.
And looking at you and like,
don't know what you're writing.
And they say you're confused, and they call it mental health issues. And And just by the way we look has nothing to do with my sexual identity.
Yeah.
This is choice.
Yeah.
This is,
right?
I want to look like this.
Yeah.
You want to look like this. But it has nothing to do with the way like who we are as queer people. And that's, I think those are the little talks we need to have, and the little spaces, in little spaces, and until we amplify our voice so that it is heard everywhere, as far as everywhere, literally. So those are the little challenges. I would say I'm black in Spain. I'm one of 10% people, you know. I'm queer. And yeah, in terms of the artistry, it wasn't such a problem. Europe is big on arts everywhere. It's massive on arts, and you know, it made it so much easier that I got in, not to hunt for a job within the arts. I got in into Europe to work. You know, so there was no challenges as an artist in Europe. No, I've never had any of those.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And for all these years, you've been telling an African story.
Oh yeah.
And how is that? I mean, to this day, what does it mean to you? How does it feel that for so many years you've been able to carry that?
Yeah. Well, look, me being an African, me being a South African to be specific, because there's something I also learned. As I said, I needed to learn a lot of things. People, one, think Africa is just one big country, and we all know each other. Tanzania, we all know it.
Nigeria.
So that's one big thing I stumbled upon when I went to Europe. You from Nigeria? We work with Nigerians. You from Nigeria? Oh, you from South Africa? Oh, okay. So you all know one another. I'm like, no, we don't. Africa is not one little city.
We miles apart.
Africa is massive. Africa is different. I think, if anything, Africa is the most complex and dynamic continent on this earth. You know. So I stumbled upon that, which there were now needs to be educating people, who I am as a black person, as a black South African person. That's another thing. You say, where they ask you where you from, you say South Africa. Some will say, which country in South Africa? Because South Africa is the only country in Africa that is named after its cardinal point. So we are in Southern Africa, and every time a lot of people would assume that I'm saying I'm from Southern Africa. Why would I say that? Also? But some people are not. They don't know the geography. Would see South Africa is a country on its own.
Hence, they will ask in which country.
Which country in South Africa? You know, because they're thinking I said the south of Africa, the southern hemisphere of Africa. And so all of those things needed to be an education, and I love telling myself and profiling and introducing South Africa to people who don't know the country. And I love telling stories about where I am, where I'm from, how I grew up, the different languages, because you know, you'll get countries in Europe that have 2 official languages and that's it. And I love telling and boasting about the fact that, you know, we have 12 with sign language, and 20 others non-official. Tsotsital, Ismomo, this, that, there's a lot. It's Pitori, you know, there's so many, and I'm so boastful about it. The different traditional attires. I took a lot going, and I've got Ibeshu. I've got Ibeshu.
Is it?
Yeah, I've got Ishweshwe. I've got Umbaqo wa Xhosa. I've got a lot, and I love being in beads and ubuhlal and feathers and fur,
and it probably
in the middle of Europe. It is very intentional, because I'm very bold and daring, and I need people to know who I am. I need that to happen. Amazing. I need that to happen. I mean, we Zozibini, one of my ultimate best, said, we need to take up space. Take up space and cement yourself. Get out there. Let you be known. Let your existence, let your impact and influence outlive your existence. So nangelinye ilanga, when people watch this interview 60 years from now, when we are no more, let them know, Guti, there were these people who did this at this time, and be proud. and maybe see themselves in these people.
Incredible. Proudly South African.
Very
Proudly South
very
African.
proudly South African.
And one aspect of you that I've also picked up is that you are a very spiritual person.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And as a particularly a Christian,
Yeah.
let's be specific, right?
Yeah.
What does Christianity mean to you, and why is it important to you?
It's important because, one, it's what was bestowed upon me by my parents. So from a bunganin bam growing up, I was taught prayer.
Yeah.
My mom would not play around. My dad, he would default here and then. But my mom did not have it. No matter how, and she's a nice lady. So she'd say, "Oh, you want to go to a party Saturday night? Go, my child.
Yeah.
You come back Sunday in the wee hours of the morning, not feeling too well because of a few things you did. But Sunday morning, you are going to wake up, headache or no headache,
We're going to
tired or we're going to church." So my mom she's the one who instilled that in me, and she taught it to me. And I taught myself Christianity and religion. It is important to me because I'm a very faith-driven person. You know, so I needed a structure to assemble this faith drive within, so that the faith is protected and is guided. You know, I'm not just faithful in anything, and if it dies, little faith. I needed support to the type of person that I'm growing up to be. So it's important to religion for me personally. Is important, and siyazi we meet a lot of people, we see a lot of experiences, and easily, if you don't have a certain faith system, you can be easily altered and changed from one to the other to the other to the other. Namhlanje uyi-Rastafarian sazi uyisangoma, kusasa uyazithandazela in tongues. We are Christian.
You don't have
the
base.
next time you are Buddhist. You'll start hopping around. You know, no offense to somebody who loves hopping around or has hopped around, but I needed to structure my faith and fix it on a foundation and cement it on where I'm placing it. So if you place it badimong, it's fine. That's where your faith lies, and we cannot try to alter that. We can just respect that and support you as a friend, as a loving person to you. So I'm not promoting everybody to be Christian. I need to sonke asiye esontweni and read the Bible. Just have a faith system that you clinging to, and that works for you. You know.
And I think I'm bringing this because knowing you as a queer person who is also Christian, and also knowing how deeply rooted you are in Christianity, because many a times we are told that we quoted verses of
all the time,
and you have been able to live a very well-lived life, and with all the successes that you have and all of that. And I think like you rightfully say, or you explain it, that it gives you structure. That it's your base. That's basically what helps you get driven and get things done and overcome other things, because sometimes you need a higher power to really navigate some of the things in life.
Of course.
And
I really, really stick on that. It has given me such structure, even if I don't know how to maneuver through some situations. Sometimes I just pray. And Abanyamantu can say, some people can say, why waste your time? There's been, as we're growing up, there's been things that are like, after all this praying and this going to church and speaking in tongues and going crazy and reading the Bible, and what if there's no God? What if there's no heaven? And we were asked those questions growing up. My counter question to that is, okay, what if there's no God? Fine, should I've wasted my time. There's no heaven, so I'll go wherever people who don't go to heaven go. Hopefully not the next door. But I will go wherever. I'll probably just idle anyway. Fine. What if you after not doing all of it, what if there is a heaven and you see us at the windows saying, "How, buddy, hi"?
What happened?
What if what if there is as well? So it is up to you. What do
Yeah.
you believe in? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Can nobody be forced?
Sure.
Do what you would like to do and do what you think is gonna work for you. Yeah.
Sure. And what does the future look like for Muzi the artist?
I don't know. Right now, I'm on cruise.
Yeah,
Right now I'm on cruise.
Yeah.
But now that I've been exposed, now that I've learned so much, there's a lot. There's a lot. I've done a lot of modeling work in Europe. I've done a lot of muse work.
Yeah.
So I've worked with a lot of photographers and artists. Even when I was still here,
Yeah.
that used to happen. In fact, just last month I was in France. I was in Paris,
Yeah.
and Professor Zanele Mholi, who's another incredible queer person that I look up to. We've known each other for over 20 years.
Yeah.
So she had an exhibition in France.
Okay.
And invited me over, and I went there. And till this day, she uses some of my pictures and wants to show the world that there's a Muzi Khumalo. That time I was tiny, I was younger, So I saw a picture of myself taken in 2001 on a museum in France. So I just want to get out there. Whatever I do, I just want to be known. I just want to exist and be known. Yeah, whether I model, act, sing, carry on singing, carry on dancing, it's fine. At the moment, I'm cruising. It's beautiful. So I've not changed anything. I'm still performing artist, a live stage performing artist. And I don't know, maybe the future, I'll be accepting a Grammy one day or an Oscar, because that's how big I dream.
From your lips to God's ears.
From my lips to God's ears. That's how big I dream. Because Abantu, when you dream big, they're like, side eye, like, nango, uqalile.
And you've seen how incredible God has moved your life.
So there's no reason why I should not dream big. If it doesn't happen, it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
I've dreamt big. So it whatever comes my way, I'm gonna grab it.
Amazing.
But now I'm really, really happy as an artist, and I just wanna capitalize on it, and especially live theater. I'm still young. And I'm proudly 37 years old. I've never shied. Thank you very much. I've never shied away from telling my age. I know other people are like, don't ask my age, but I'm 37 years old, turned 38 this year, and with the type of job that I do, one day my body will say no. My body will say, bruh, I'm tired now. The knee, the back, the neck. So while I still can, that's why I'm doing everything, and I'm just going in. So that one day when my body says, bruh, let's call it a day. I've done so much. I've touched so much. My name and face is out there everywhere. And that's what I want. That's what the future holds. Doing a lot and just going crazy.
Look, all the best. All the best.
Thank you so
I think
much.
you're one of the living examples of how the world can be an oyster. It's always said, but you are living proof of that the world can be one's oyster. Right? And for people that want to follow you and see what you get up to and all of that, where do they check you out?
Man, I mean, I'm reachable on, I have Facebook, I have Instagram, I'm reachable. Probably won't give my personal details, but Facebook, Muzi Ashley Khumalo, Instagram, Muzi_Ashley_K. And
that's
I'm not a big superstar. I'm a young black boy from Soweto who's just making it happen around the world. And if you want to join me on the journey, let's go. The world is an oyster and it's out there and ready for everybody to absorb and enjoy it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
No,
thank you for sharing your inspirational story. But I think beyond everything else, thank you for flying South African flag high. Because you selflessly do so. And that's why Eli said proudly South African, because you're very much intentional about doing that. And we need a lot of people like yourself, not only for the world to know about us, but also for the young ones that are coming to learn from you how it's done when you go out there. Right?
Thank you so much. I mean, speaking about young ones, I remember I always say it's so crazy how when we were growing up, it has always been taught, or not taught, but it overseas has always been perceived as far and unreachable. It's not within reach. You know, we're like, go be like days of our lives, bold and the beautiful. Mama, baba, gupila, ba pesheya, and pesheya kude. Le, sihlala la thina, sihlaleni la. You know, those little things get into a child's head,
They
and
do.
we perceive with Gugude. Mommy, daddy said Gugude. I'll probably never get there.
Right.
And now that I've started traveling at this late age in my life, but I'm like, hold on.
This is all here.
It's reachable.
Yeah.
So I think those are the little educations and talks we need to have with, and a brainwashing.
Yeah.
Let's
as
brainwash
well.
these ones that are coming.
Yeah.
So much you can, you're
It's
beautiful,
possible.
it's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Hamba.
Right?
You know, let's brainwash it as much as we were brainwashed to think that it's far
can't.
pressure or
you're not
being
worth
gay
it.
is a curse.
Yeah.
Let's brainwash
Right?
as so that they grow up to be dynamites as well. Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you for inviting me. You are gorgeous.
Yeah.
Stay beautiful.
Thank you.
And thank you for your
Thank
platform.
you. It's
We
a
need
great pleasure.
these spaces.
Yeah,
Voices.
definitely.
Voices need to be heard.
Right?
There's a lot of messages that need to be heard. So
Yeah.
thanks to you and your team for this space.
It's a pleasure.
Thank
It's a great
you.
pleasure. There you've heard it from Muzi K. Being here, I think for me more than anything, is just to prove to everyone that anything is possible. Following your passion, understanding who you are, and going and giving the best that you are. I am really, really inspired today, and I hope that you are as well. So make sure that you do subscribe. Leave your comments, whether it's a question that you have for Muzi. Muzi will check out later and maybe answer, maybe respond. But leave a question, leave a comment, whatever the case may be. But make sure that you stay tuned for the next one. Until the next one, bye-bye.